Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing 81 cells versus 9 dots versus 17, presumably dots again. And in the background there you can see, well, 81 cells. Tons of batteries, electric car batteries being produced there. I never actually visited one during our time in China, but many of our neighbors where we lived were actually working for various car manufacturers that had factories not far from the city, and they were all pretty much electrical car engineers. Let's take a look at the puzzle. So, 81 cells versus 19 dots versus 7 dots by Daniël Rokven. Now, to save you from having to do this yourself and watching me do it, I did count offline that there are indeed 19 black dots, 7 white dots, and of course, because it's a Sudoku grid, there are 81 cells, 9 by 9. We have relatively straightforward set of rules. I say relatively, I mean, anti-knight always sort of tends to surprise us, but let's take a quick look at them. We've got normal Sudoku rules, or normal 9 by 9 Sudoku rules apply, so that means in every row, such as the one here, in every column, such as this one, and in every 3 by 3 box, such as that, we need to have the digits 1 to 9 to appear exactly once. It says at least once, but because obviously there's 9 of them, and every single one of these digits has to appear at least once, that's the digits 1 to 9 without any repeats. We have anti-knight, so cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot have the same digit. So for example, if this cell here was a 2, if you're familiar with how chess knights move, they essentially step two squares forward, 1 step to the side. So these cells, which are, I'm just going to highlight in grey, let's go for a darker grey, essentially cannot have the same digit. And you end up with this huge part of the grid that cannot have the same digit. Obviously, if you apply as well, normal Sudoku, then all of these cannot also be the digit 2, and then an immense amount of the puzzle ends up being unable to be filled in with the same digit. We have difference Kropki, so that cells with a white Kropki between them are consecutive. We have 7 of these thanks to the title. So if that cell here was a 2, this needs to be consecutive. That could be 1 or 3, as in 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. We also have ratio Kropki. So cells with a black Kropki between them are in a ratio of 1 to 2. And Daniel thankfully included some possibilities, such as 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8, and 3, 6. So because I have a 2 in here, you can see very clearly that this could be a 1 or a 4 from the pairs that Daniel has already listed. Now, this is a kind of I suspect will be a relatively approachable puzzle. So it's not quite gas. I don't know. We're gonna find out together. Because anti-knight, I think, feels a little bit more advanced than a gas puzzle, but we'll take a look at that. Now, if you want to give this puzzle a tour, this factory of battery cells, link will be in the description down below for you to play along as usual. And all that's left to do now is for me to restart the clock and see how I get on. So because Daniel's actually listed some of the pairs, I think it's not going to surprise you that I'm going to put in 2 and 4 in here immediately, 2 and 4 in there, 2 and 4 in here as well. And all of these cells are actually known. Well, known in the sense that they are, 1, 2, 4, 8 run. And essentially Daniel's listed in here all the pairs that are in a 1 to 2 ratio. You can see just purely based on the sequences that are available that if you have 4 cells that have to be different, and they have to be different because of Sudoku rules, then the only way that you can do this in a black Kropki dot run is 1, 2, 4, 8, or obviously the reverse, 8, 4, 2, 1. 3, 6 are unique, they only go together alone, which is almost certainly what these 2 cells here are. Yeah, because I've already placed 3 of 1, 8, 2, 4. I need 2 of them in here, that's got to be 3, 6. I've placed 3, 6 in here, that's got to be a 1, 8, 2, 4 run. I mean, the fact that there's 3 of them tells me this cell has to be the 2, 4. That cannot be the second 2, 4. We've got already 2 of them here in row 2. That's a 1, 8. That's a 2, 4. And I'm probably going to do a few mean, I can place a digit. It's kind of minute 1.5. That's a 3. Clearly, the only one of 3 and 6 that could be consecutive with 2 and 4 is the 3. So that's 3. That's 6. That's 5 or 7 to be consecutive. That 2, 4 in here, well, we know it's not a 1. We've pencil marked the 1. But it could be 3. In fact, it is 3 because it's on a black Kropki dot. The other possibility of 5 is not on a black Kropki dot. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Not an option. And that's a 6. 2 and 4, we've got the same thing going on here, except this time we don't actually know if it's 3 or 6. Because that can actually be a 5. It's not on a black Kropki dot like this cell was. I can see that this is 2, 4. Again, if you've got a run of 3, 2, 4 has to be in the middle. If you think about sort of almost this as a number line, and essentially if you're selecting 3 from this number line, which is what we're doing here, sort of at an angle. So clearly either the 2 is in the middle or the 4 is in the middle. So that's 2, 4. 1, 8 is staring at this cell. This is the second 2, 4. 2 4s are already placed in this box. That has to be a 1, 8. We've got another 3, 5 set up in here, which we cannot disambiguate yet. I'm going to remove this before it causes any confusion. This is not 3, 6, nor 1, 8, this cell. So that's 2, 4. I've already placed 2 in row 7. That's 1, 8. I'm not sure what this is just yet. So I am going to come back to it. And I'm not sure what this is either. So I feel like the next step here is probably a bit of coloring. Just to help us. Can I actually place any of these? Not really. I mean, again, because the 3 could be consecutive with 4 or 2, so we don't actually know. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go with a few colors just to help us disambiguate things. So yellow, red. Now you can see just anti-night move, that cannot be red. So this is the other 1, 8 pair. That's purple, that's red. We obviously know the sequence of the colors from this one, so that would be yellow. And that would be blue. Also, the anti-night move would have given us that color. Blue here means that this is yellow. That would have to be blue. We've already placed purple. That has to be red. And what this tells me is I need a purple 1, 8 in this row. Anti-night move tells me it's not here. Anti-night move tells me it's not there. That's a 1, 8. And I'm pretty sure that's an 8. The reason I know this is I've already got 2 and 4 put in here. So if that was a 1, 2's not available. That's got to be an 8. So I actually can, let me do this way. I'm going to do it this way. I'm tempted to just color these quickly just to help me replace them all in one go. So this is yellow, this has to be blue. Blue is adjacent to purple. Therefore this is yellow. This is red. This has to be purple. This has to be blue. Again, just following this sequence, just consistent coloring and application of it. And now if I select purple, all of these are 8. If I select blue, all of these are 4s. If I select yellow, it's quite unlucky. Sorry, I meant to put 2. That I sort of reverse the colors here. It will probably confuse me or catch me out at some point. This 8 now has to be 7 or 9. The fact that these are 4s unfortunately doesn't help us disambiguate these 3, 5, so we don't actually know what these are. Do I know what these are? No, actually I do not. That's unfortunate. I'll have to think about these in a moment. Can I do anything else though? So 8s, just we need to sort of do a bit of Sudoku. That's an 8 in here. I can see 2s and 4s are in there, as is 1s. This is 1, 2, and 4. You can see that there is essentially a triplet of them here, eliminating 1, 2, and 4 from there. That's 1, 2, and 4. 2 has to be in one of these 2 cells because otherwise it's not going to be part of the pair. You need 1, 2, or 2, 4. Can't have 1, 4 that is a multiple of 2 apart. This 2 tells us the order. That's not the 2. So that is the 2. That 1 tells us again with anti-night move. That's the 4, that's the 1. I don't know if I'm going to persist with coloring, if I'm honest. I don't know if it's going to give me that much more value if I'm at this point. Oh, that 2 was looking at this 4, therefore this is an 8. Now, we can just about do these. I suspect we can just about do them. 8s, we can see 8s. Oh, hang on, no. I was about to select the wrong cells. So 8s, not in these 2. Not here because of this anti-knight move. 8 is in one of 2 cells. You can see, and this is quite tricky to spot, that this is not going to be an 8. Because if it is an 8, it sees this with Sudoku, it sees this with anti-knight move. So if I put an 8 in here, there is nowhere for an 8 to be placed in box 5. So that's not the 8, that is the 8. And then we've got 8s in here, kind of in an X-wing that we'll need to resolve at some point. I don't think we have any anti-knight move that would help us. But the fact that this is... oh, it doesn't matter. We've already got 8 in here. What else can I do? I can see 2 is definitely in one of these 2 cells. And anti-knight move is not helping me again. If that was a 2, this would have to be a 1. So that's one possibility of this. I guess the other possibility, and the 6 here helps us. That can't be a 6. That could be a 3. That could be a 6. So that's sort of the options we have in here. And yeah, anti-knight move for the moment isn't helping us resolve this. 4s, I can see we have a 4-8 pair in here. I'm ruling this out with this 4, this 4. That's a 4-8 pair. Actually, that's a 4. Looking at this cell, that's the 4. I said 4. That's the 8. Therefore, that's not the 8. That's the 8. And I keep going with 4s. I need a 4 in here, and it's in none of these cells. Just Sudoku. No clever anti-knight moves. That's the 4. I think that's all the 4s done. I think that's all the 8s done. Can we carry on with 2s? So 2s are not in either any of these cells, just Sudoku. There's a 2 in here. If that's the 2, that would be a 1. That seems plausible. I'm going to pencil mark this in here, and obviously there'll be some sort of 3-6 option that we just need to take a look at. Hopefully exclude. Is there any 2s left? So yeah, what about in here? That places a 2 there, just Sudoku. All of these are eliminated. There's a 2 in here staring at this 2 option. Therefore, that is a 6. That is a 3. That's the 2. Doesn't help us with our 2 X-wings between these cells. Let's think. We've done 2s. Let's think about 1s. Oh yeah, no, I can do a bit more. So 1s in box 5 are down to one of these 2 cells. Now 1s in box 8 is in one of these 2 cells. 1s in box 9 is in one of these 2 cells. And then 1s in box 6. So we can use, like without even having to look at 3s and 6s, we can use probably anti-knight moves to eliminate 1s a little bit from these 3 cells. So that's kind of, based on Sudoku, these are the 3 options that we currently have for 1s. But with anti-knight move, such as this one, it can see this cell and this cell eliminating 1 from box 9. So that's not a 1. That doesn't see both. That doesn't see both. So actually we've got kind of a weird X-wing here as such. Okay. We've done with 2, so I guess we will actually have to look at 3s and 6s then. 3s in one of 2 cells. 3s in one of these 2 cells, except anti-knight move removes this option, so that's the 3. 3s, not sure. How about in here? It's in one of 2 cells. So I guess, yeah, that's starting to get a bit tricky, isn't it? We're definitely slowing down. So 3 is not in any of these. Yeah, not sure again. 6s. Right, let's just think about this as an option for a second. Maybe use this white Kropki dot. So if this is a 3-6 pair, so 1 and 2 is forced in that direction because we've got 2, 4, and 8 looking at this cell. This can only be 1, this can only be a 2. Now if it's 3-6, it would have to be, 3 would have to be down here, and the 6 would have to be up here. If that's a 2, 1, 2 would force a 3 in here, plausible. If that's a 6, that would be a 3, then it would have to be adjacent to a 2 or 4, which we've established is not available in this cell. 4 not available, 2 not available, so that can't be a 3, that's a 2, that's a 1, that's not a 1, that's not a 1 anymore, that's the 1, that can't be the 2, that's the 2, excuse me, that can't be a 2, that's the 2, that can't be the 1, that's the 1, anti-night move, well, and Sudoku gives us this 1, that's all the 1's done, that's all the 2's done. This 2 needs to be adjacent to a digit that is not 1, well it's a 3, gives us this 3, not this 3. 3 is eliminated from all of these cells now, it's 1 of 2. Doesn't help us disambiguate what's going on there. It does give us a 3 in 1 of 2 locations in here, which again is not enough. Not enough. Right. What can we do? So can we push 6s a bit further? Probably. So 6 is in 1 of 2 cells. Therefore 6 is not here. I don't know if I want to pencil mark this. 6. Actually 6. So 6 is in 1 of 2 cells in there. Doesn't eliminate any of these, unfortunately. What about up here? Yeah, anti-night move. So that's a 6 in the top row. Forces a 6 down here, which puts a 6 in there, since all of these are eliminated with our written in digits. 6 in this box now. Well, it's not there. It's not here. Just Sudoku. It's not there. That is the 6, which actually helps us. That can't be a 6. That can't be a 6. Just anti-night move. These are the 6s. And then these 6s are not resolved at this point. Okay. We've done as many 6s as we can. We've done as many 3s as we can. Now the white Kropki dots, I'm just sort of trying to, rather than just pencil mark or over pencil mark, I'm just trying to spot what would help us kind of resolve some of these open questions, such as the 3 5s, 5 7, 7 9, and I guess these 6s and 3s. And I'm just having a look to see if there is anything obvious that would help. And I'm not seeing it yet. I mean, if you are seeing it, I mean, you're a better Sudoku player than I am. I don't think I'm missing anything. Again, trying to... Oh, hang on. Anti-night move. That's not a 3. That's a 3. That's not a 3. That's a 5. That's a 3. That's not a 3. That's the 3. Right, that's better. So that's 3's done. Now, 6s are definitely out of reach of anti-night moves. Yeah. So these are going to have to be resolved otherwise. And I will need to go ahead and just write a whole bunch of 5 7 9s. 7 9. I don't know if I'm going to have to use color to disambiguate some of these. Quite possibly. I've written a 5 in here, so that's another 7 9. That's another 7 9. There's a 5 in one of these 2 cells. I didn't mean to do that. Excuse me. Let's try that again. 5 7 9s. These are also 5 7 9s. Can I use this 5 for anything useful? How did I do this? So clearly that is not correct. These are 7 9s, I accept. One of these has to be a 5. And I don't know why I've written a 7 9 in here. So these are from 5, 7, and 9. And pretty much this has to be the 5 because there's nowhere else in box 9. So that's the 5. That's a 7 9. There's going to be a 5 between these two cells again. No, nothing special with anti-knight move. We need a 5 in this column. You can see that because that's a 7 9. There's a 5 in here. The 5s are lining up. You can see in the same rows in boxes 4 and 5, placing a 5 here. And we're back to 7 9s again. Where can 5 go now in this box? There's none of these. So 5 is up here. 5 we know has to be there. So at least we've got 5s lining up in rows 1 and 2 again. So we know 5 has to be in row 3 in box 2. That's got to be the 5. Doesn't help us with our 5 X-Wing necessarily. But it does give us this 5 down here. I think that's all the 5s that we can do at this point, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, that's a 7, which will help, I'm sure. That's a 9. He says, hopefully, that 9 is, that's a 7, that's a 9. That's not 7, that's not 9. That 9 gives us a 7 down here. That's got to be 6 9. That 7 sees this 7 9. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's a 9. That 7 gives us the 5, the 9, the 7, the 9 up there, 9. That's a 5 7. That 7 gives us the order. Therefore, that's the 5. That's the 7. That's the 5, which gives us the 6. That's not a, which also gives us a 6 9 down here. That 5 gives us this 5. We need a 7, a 9, a 7, and then we need a 7 and 9 in here. Easy solve, 7, and if I've not made any mistakes, solution to today's puzzle. It's a lovely puzzle, Daniel. So, I guess deceptively, it seems like it should be a lot more approachable because you get, a ton of digits, all of these black Kropki dots, fairly quickly. I say fairly quickly, and then the 1 2 4, just with black Kropki, anti-knight move. So you get this far. But then it gets a lot harder all of a sudden, and you slow down immensely, and you need to start using anti-knight move substantially to just make progress from this point on. So lovely puzzle, Daniel. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.